My name is Kathryne Maundu. I'm a company secretary, governance consultant by background. I did study law at the University of Nairobi, but for the last 17 years plus, I've been working as a company secretary. And in that space, I've specialized in providing my services to public listed entities. But over and above that, I think I'm a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky young woman. Yeah. With the entity that I work with, which is Bowman's under Stamford Corporate Services, we outsource our services as company secretaries. So that means I can cut across various sectors and various entities. But for the listed companies, I work for 4 of them. I have just stepped down from Safaricom, but I am the company secretary of EABL, BAT, and one agricultural company called eGuards Limited. I started my profession in Deloitte, my career in Deloitte. Yeah. So we had a team under Livingston Associates, a team of company secretaries. So even whilst you're the one who's facing the client, you have a team behind you to support you as you outsource your services. It's the same model that we have now in Stamford. So I do have a team that supports me. Yeah. So whilst I will be the one facing the directors and the board, I have a team which helps me do the day-to-day activities of each company, which relate to compliance and ensuring good governance. The underlying factor is that governance is governance. It cuts across all industries. Yeah. So I'm not doing the legal aspect. I'm just doing the governance. Now, key to make sure is that you're supporting the board and you're supporting management in delivering their mandate to the board and the board performing their duties in line with the Companies Act. The act is the same. Yeah. So you find that whatever you're doing, you can almost replicate it, to each industry that you are in, Especially for the listed entities, when you find that you have to work with the Companies Act, the CMA Act and the regulations thereof, together with the ones for NSE, the Nairobi Securities Exchange, it's the same law. Yeah, it's the same law, the same requirements for listed entities. So now how you roll it out, and the dynamics of each board is what makes the difference. I must admit, over the years, I've seen the board of Safaricom evolve, and you get to see very strong personalities sitting on that board. So how do you engage with them? How do you extract value from them? But also, how do I add value? When you have individuals who are very brilliant, they're brilliant in their own capacity. So learning how to collaborate, learning how to tap into each other's skills has been very key for me. Learning how to manage different stakeholders. I mean, also we appreciate that Safaricom has government shareholding. So just learning how that comes into play. How do you involve your key stakeholders and make sure that also minority shareholders are still protected? How do you involve your regulators in the discussions about certain decisions that you want to make? So I've been part of that process. Graciously so the board has allowed me to be part of that journey. And for me, I live with very rich memories and experiences, even around board dynamics. You will not agree on all matters that are tabled to you for approval, but how do you bring about consensus? So I've come to appreciate how that is tackled at a big company like Safaricom. In my 17-plus journey, I didn't start off just working with listed entities. I had to start from smaller entities. And you'll find that short of enlightening these companies on what else you can bring to the table, they will just see you as a minute taker. So I think the onus is also on us as company secretaries to educate our boards, educate the market, so to speak, on what else can you do. But you see, they'll also know what else you can do by you showing them what else you can do. We have a very vibrant Institute of Certified Secretaries, which also helps to disseminate this sort of information to the public, that you can extract so much use and value from your company secretary over and above minute writing. And by the way, just to correct that, also minute writing comes with its own sort of skills. It's just not note-taking. You have to write minutes in a certain way to communicate a message, not just for those who are sitting in that meeting, but we write minutes for those who will come several years later. They'll be able to understand what this board was talking about and why they made decisions in a certain way. But you see, you can't sit in a meeting and say, and contribute as a secretary, because you're not a board member. So some of the tactics that we use is that we go through the chairman, we align and talk to the chairman before the meeting. You speak to your directors before the meeting. You have looked at the board papers. So if you have any concern on a, say, procedural matter or another way of looking at a certain matter, you tell them, and it will be voiced out at the meeting. Anyone can become a company secretary, but you do have to go through the mandatory courses, which are provided for by CASNEB in Kenya. I mean, we also have ICSA, which is international. But I always say, it doesn't have to be a lawyer. We do have an advantage, I must admit, because you find a lot of nexus between the law and company secretarial work. But with a lot of hard work, reading, you will bridge that gap if you're not a lawyer. And honestly, I do wish to demystify that. You do not have to be a lawyer to be a company secretary. Some of the best company secretaries have different backgrounds, accounts, HR. I actually worked with a lady who had a background in botany, and she's a thriving company secretary right now. But then I'm also seeing a lot of a shift also in how the conversations are happening in the board, because whilst it used to be operational, now it's taken a very strategic perspective, which is what the board is supposed to do, discuss strategy, and direct and guide management. So you find now we are talking more on people, people, which is a key resource for any entity. We are talking more on culture, that the conversations have shifted now just from profit, it's shifted from profit, to purpose, So it's amazing to see how corporate governance trends are now coming into the boardroom. Of course, heightened focus to data protection, heightened focus to cybersecurity, and the mitigations thereof. And all this is all aimed to ensure sustainability. So ESG is a hot topic right now at the board. And I would encourage all directors to undertake a training on ESG, because it's going to feature for a long time. I'd want to focus now on one industry. Over the years, I've worked on diverse industries, as we said before, diverse clients. At this point in my life, I want to take a bit of a step back, what you'd call do lighter duties, and focus on one account. So I'd like to get back into industry. I'm still debating which industry, and provide my services to one account.
But in the capacity of a company secretary?
In the capacity of a company secretary. I'm very passionate about the work that I do, and I'm good at it. So it will still be in the space of company secretarial and governance. Over the years, I have been, and thank God for good health, because I keep on getting asked the questions, how are you able to do it? How are you able to, move from one entity to another? And apart from just having a good team that is supportive and working very well with the clients, it also calls for a lot of organization around my diary, but also a lot of sacrifice around my personal space, the things that I want to do, my family, and has it borne fruit? It has borne fruit to the extent that I am successful in the profession that I am in. But it also came with a lot of sacrifice. And now it's time to take a step back and say, now I'm going to sacrifice for Kathryne and focus on Kathryne and what is good for Kathryne for the next season. I want to now be significant to the society, and add value in a different way. One thing I feel bad that I haven't been able to do a lot of is mentorship. But also mentorship in terms of my profession. I feel like we have been misunderstood so much, so I really want to get into that space. When I was joining Safaricom, I'd never worked on a listed entity before, but somebody helped me, learn the ropes and open doors for me to, even introduce me to people who could help me learn. So I really want to do that to someone else. I want to talk to people about what a COSEC does. I want to teach them about board dynamics. So one of the things I also want to do is probably go and teach Yeah, I had to go and teach in the institutions that provide CPS. Yeah, to those who are going to get into the market. Yeah, because we've also seen a lot of gap, and by the way, we have struggled recruiting people to join firms like ours to provide company secretarial services because they only know the theory. Yeah, so I want to be part of those who are teaching, yes, the theory, but the practical side of it, so that we can create a pipeline of almost ready CSs, yeah, who people can employ. And who can, once they get in, it's plug and play. You just add value from the onset. As a company secretary, first of all, you need to go to school and get your qualification as a CPS, which is provided for under CASNIB. Yeah. Then you become a registered company secretary under the Registration and Certified Public Secretaries Board. Yeah. And you can also take out your practicing certificate. Yeah. Again, with the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries. To add on to another qualification that you can take on is that of a governance auditor, an accredited governance auditor with the Institute of Certified Secretaries. And you have to go for a course on that. We offer a one-week course, and then you undertake an examination. Now, that for me is what would allow you to practice as a company secretary. Now, what are the skill sets? What we've talked about as we've engaged communication skills. Yeah, you've got to have effective communication skills. You've got to have high EQ as part of that, because you're dealing with people of very robust personalities, different personalities in the board, different personalities in management. Yeah, and you're bringing them together for a common purpose. So the company secretary needs to be able to read the mood very quickly, read the mood of the chairman, read the mood of the CEO, yeah, read the mood of the stakeholders, and bring it together to make an informed decision, yeah, for the good of the company. You've got to be able to use technology in your favor as well, yeah. You've got, so that you can be able to, your board needs to be up to speed with what's happening in technology. I'm not saying you're not the IT expert, no. But you cannot run away from knowing a bit of everything, almost like a jack of all trades. Yeah? Because those are the things you're hearing in the boardroom. Yeah? You've got to be able to keep up with also changing regulation and be able to analyze very quickly how that would impact the board that you're sitting on. So engage with the experts who are in the management. Yeah? Tell them, this is what I'm hearing in the market. How does that fit into what you're doing? How will this help the board? Yeah? You've got to be able to have very good attention to detail. Yeah. Again, even back to what we were saying, minute writing. You cannot have minutes with typos. It almost changes what you're trying to say. Yeah. So attention to detail is very key. Attention to be able to dissect an issue very fast to a very simple, something technical, break it down to be very simple. You've got to be able to do that. And at the end of the day, you've got to be able to understand your board, understand how they want you to work with them, yeah, and see how you're going to add value in that sort of situation. You've got to be able to understand other stakeholders, the regulators, the fourth estate. Yeah, you've got to be able to expand your networks. Those who are still studying, this is a great profession. The role of a COSEC, company secretary, governance consultant, is a great profession, and it's a very fulfilling profession. Yeah, and I know what I keep on getting asked is there money? Well, we're not broke, but again, why are you getting into this profession? Is it just about the money? I always say, don't get into a profession just for the sake of the money. Yeah, you can get fulfillment in different ways, but it pays the bills. But I think you can make so much impact to society because you are the governance expert. Tap into the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries as the Institute of Governance and build on your networks. It will pay off.